Hello there, and welcome back to You Don't Know Her, the mindset podcast all about creating the best future for yourself, one by design and not by default. And I'm just looking at the man at the top of my screen, just grinning at me like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit. But you've seen him a few times already, hopefully, if you've been keeping in touch with this podcast. But it is IdleCrisp from IdleCrisp. How are we doing?
I'm doing very well today. How are you? How's
Oh,
it
I'm
going?
amazing. Yeah, I'm having a great
Excellent.
time. I'm all the better for seeing you. But yeah, I've wanted to get you back on. We're doing these regular episodes now. We've got you coming back on for a few things. And today
Hmm.
we decided we want to chat all things. What's in the top left corner of your screen there? Guitar, all things music, really. So
All things music sounds good. I
all things
was going to say
music.
the top left of my screen that I can see in front of me. I was like, I don't think we should talk about
Oh,
that.
yeah. Am I got vision there? Am I actually? Is there a camera in your pictures? Are there behind? Or am
Oh,
I
there
just...
is. Well, there might be.
So I mentioned the guitar specifically because we've had a very proficient guitarist on the show already, Ali McAlane, from the massive band Texas, and he talked a lot about how he played the guitar. Without a guitar, he'd just sit on the bus and he'd make the chord transitions with his hand and he'd get super invested and things like that. And I know you've been playing since at least, what was it, secondary school at least? Was it primary school?
No, it'd have been secondary
Was
school.
it
Yeah, early secondary school.
early
So I'd have
secondary?
been how old? Maybe 12 or something?
12, something like that. Okay. And how has that been for you? Because you're 28 now?
Mhm.
So 16 years of kind of, is it still, do you play quite regularly? Are you
It's
improving
sort
over
of
time
like
or
on and off.
is it?
It was obviously when we were younger, there was a lot of it because a lot of people at the time, like everyone gets to like secondary school and everyone's like, "Whoa, we want to learn an instrument,"
Yeah.
yourself included. I remember
Yeah.
you played the drums at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like everybody, was like, "Oh, I want to learn an instrument." And there was a group of us who all sort of learned to play the guitar at the same time. So you'd always be around each other chatting about it. Oh, have you heard about this? Have you heard about this? Oh, listen to this. And
Yeah.
it was a lot more intense there. Whereas nowadays it's there. It
Mhm.
comes out occasionally,
Yeah.
not too often. It came out the other night on stream.
Nice. Amazing. How did that
When
go?
when we were panicking, everything broke on the stream, and I thought there's only one way I'm going to redeem this, and that's through song. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
improvised song,
It's the best.
terrible.
It's the best healer. Improvised. Okay.
Oh, it was terrible.
Just
Everyone
from the
loved
start.
it, but it was just a mess. But
Love.
it's there. It comes out occasionally.
I
It
love
does.
that. So everyone loved it because of how terrible it was.
I think that's the case. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll have to dig that out and get that linked in the description or something. It's
Mhm.
yeah, it'd be fun to see that.
Thought you
So,
meant right now, and I was like a future episode, maybe.
oh, future episode maybe yeah, we've got a bit more confidence to
Okay.
to know that. So, okay, so 12-year-old, what's the deal then? Have you got a guitar? Are you learning at home? Have you got a teacher?
Mhm.
What's kind of the
Ooh,
first
do you
step?
know what actually got me into guitar?
Go on.
Playing the guitar. The first thing ever.
Mm.
The game Guitar Hero.
Oh wow, well yeah,
Genuinely
amazing. I
the
love
game
it. Yeah,
Guitar Hero.
yeah.
So it was like one Christmas, my parents were like, right, let's it's Christmas. What do
Mm.
you want? And I was
Yeah.
like, just a new game. Just a
Mm.
new game. Give me a new game. Any
Yeah.
any ideas? Because like I'd seen shows with my dad before. Like I'd gone to see concerts with my dad. He's always been like big into his rock music and stuff like that.
Mm.
So it was like, oh yeah, we could get you this Guitar Hero game, and I'm that looks quite good. And I was like, yeah, go on then. Expecting me to play it for like, half an hour, put it down, never touch it again.
Mm. Yeah.
But then got it, played it, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. I love it.
Yeah.
Played Guitar Hero for honestly maybe 6 months, and then I was like, right, I want a guitar. I want a
Mm.
proper guitar now. I've
Mm.
got the
Yeah.
little clicky one that works.
Yeah.
I want the proper one now.
Yeah, yeah, and but that's
And
it. Yeah,
essentially, that was what got me into it. That was
yeah,
everything that got me into it. I just loved it.
yeah. It's such a good game. Like, I mean, a Rock Band was my main one, so that's probably
Mhm,
why I was so into the drums because I liked playing the drums on Rock Band.
mhm.
But I don't know if you've seen the South Park episode where they play Guitar Hero. Have you seen
I
that
don't
one?
think I have, no.
You need to watch this. Let me just quickly tell you about it. But it's all the kids like of South Park come around and they play like Guitar Hero on the screen
Mhm.
and yeah, they're all super invested in it. And then Stan, the main character, his dad, comes out with a real guitar. He goes, kids, I can actually play a lot of these songs on real guitar. And he starts playing on "Carry On My Wayward Son," I think, on
Mhm.
the guitar, and it's like, yeah, he's playing it well and stuff. And then it just pans to the kids, and Stan goes, "Dad, that's lame. No one wants to play real guitar." And then yeah, he just gets back to playing Guitar Hero. And but yeah, it's such a yeah, like Guitar Hero. I mean, one of our friends, to name drop on the podcast again,
Mhm.
our friend Wes,
Oh yeah.
he was telling me years ago that he knows someone who's a his actual guitarist in a band, and he could play. he could play Guitar Hero on expert, but he couldn't play on hard, like because of
Hmm.
the tempo or the timing or something. He
Yeah,
found
it slowed it down. It was a little bit different.
yeah.
Expert, you were hitting every single note, not to bore everyone, but
Mm.
expert, you hit every single note hard. It misses a couple out to
Yeah.
try and make it easier for yourself.
Yeah.
So
But
I can
for
see
it,
how that's the case. Like
yeah.
it is way different.
Yeah, I suppose it's very accurate to it's a lot more accurate than expert on expert to real guitar, isn't it? Like in terms of the
Mhm.
notes, you'd be like, okay, this will come. So you might, yeah, might throw, you might play a note that's actually not there. You might just like
Yeah.
naturally think, oh, hang on, and then yeah, but no, yeah. Well, so yeah, so that's great. So we've done, yeah, we've got the Guitar Hero now. We're playing Guitar Hero, we're loving
Mhm.
it. So yeah, so then you've said to your dad, what you want a real guitar and you want to get lessons now. Is that the
Yeah.
next bit? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like sort of let's get a real guitar. Let's, actually learn because my dad when I was growing up, I never really knew. It was maybe in the loft somewhere.
Mm,
He had like a really old acoustic sort of classic acoustic guitar. It wouldn't have been a good one. Like just the cheap sort of easy one to get. And he had that and it was never in tune or anything. It was never it was
mm,
never used or never played. I don't know,
yeah.
it's gone now. Don't know where that's gone. That's probably gone to a charity shop.
Mm,
And it was like, right, let's get you a real guitar, let's get you a proper guitar, and let's get you guitar lessons.
yeah. Nice.
So fortunately for me, my uncle, he works at a guitar shop at the
Mm,
time, and we went in, me and my dad one day, and it was like, right, let's have a look, have a little try out on these guitars, and I'm there thinking, I've never played one, I
mm.
don't know what I'm doing, what am I meant to do? So I'm there cracking out smoke on the water, having a
Nice.
great little time, and
Classic.
and everyone's looking like, what is this guy doing? What's he doing? And it was just a weird one because it was like we just tried out loads of different guitars at the time.
Mm,
And I always was like, I want an electric guitar, I want to be cool.
mm.
Everyone uses an electric guitar on Guitar Hero. So we were looking at loads and different types and then found one that in the end I was like, yeah, I like this one. This is the one that we're going to get.
Yeah.
Got all that, brought it home. And then the question was, right, you need to learn it. You need to get some lessons.
Mm,
And again, fortunately, one of our neighbors, he was going to guitar lessons himself.
mm.
And he's like into his 50s at this point,
Yeah.
late 40s, early 50s. And he's like, well, I can put you in contact with the guy who I use.
Mm.
So that was like, yeah, that's great. Let's get him shipped off, get him guitar lessons. You go over there.
Yeah.
Just it sort of just went from there.
Yeah.
And it was like I think it was every 2 weeks, had a guitar lesson. It
Oh
was just
wow.
getting better and better.
Yeah.
I just
Amazing.
thoroughly enjoyed it every time.
Yeah. And that process, because I tried to learn the guitar similar sort of age, early
Mhm.
secondary school, yeah, probably 12, 13, and I just found it so difficult immediately, like the first 2 weeks before your fingers have like got calloused and used to it, and
Mhm.
and, and when you just feel so strange, doesn't it? Like making your fingers move in different shapes, and that was the problem for me, that it was so difficult that I just gave up on it. Whereas you've obviously, have you kind of thought, okay, I'm not very good at this, but I know I will get to that point, and
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
not the
it
thing
was
for
just to
you.
be the point where it was like enough where I could just play songs that I liked. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything like let's go massive with it, let's play a guitar, world famous band or anything.
Mm,
It was never that for me. It was
mm,
more just as a hobby to be I have a little spare time, just I'll play the guitar to this song, play it
mm.
to that song, just have a nice time with it really. And like you
Yeah.
said, when you first start out, especially with like an electric guitar, the strings are way thinner.
Mm.
So I'm there with little 12-year-old hands, like in agony, trying to play the guitar. I'm like, it hurts so much. And it's like, but I've got to keep on playing. I want to get better.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
the end, like you say, you do get used to it. Your hands get fine. You get used to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's nice to just play and have that sort of spare time and have that extra thing to do, I think.
Yeah, yeah, but that's it. Like, so I picked up the guitar again like about 2 years ago, and
Mhm.
I can now play songs and chords and things like that,
Mhm.
and yeah, really enjoy it. So one thing I can't do still, I mean, I'm sure I could if I applied myself hard enough, but is bar chords,
Yeah.
with your yeah. So that's something you may have to show me at some point. But even still, it's still a case of I'm in agony here, like putting my
Mhm.
finger down, like it really hurts to try and like sound out all the things like that. So,
Mhm.
but again, that's a bit more a slightly more advanced guitar technique, isn't it? So I'm guessing that's something you're quite comfortable doing
Mhm.
now, bar chords.
Yeah, it is, but it's the same with anything though. It's like when you first like play football or something, you kick the ball, your foot will probably hurt, won't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
at the time you start anything, I
yeah.
remember when I first started streaming, like there was one time I did like a 6 hour stream,
Hmm,
and I'd only been streaming maybe an hour, 2 hours at a time. And I did the 6 hour stream and I finished it, and my voice was just
hmm,
gone, was just wrecked.
hmm,
And you're just not used to it.
hmm.
Whereas now, I'm casually just streaming 4 hours at a time, couple of times a week, and
Yeah.
you're just used to it. Like
Yeah.
even now, I'm just yapping on and yapping, and you
Yeah.
just get completely used to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just one of those things. A little bit of practice, it goes a long way, it really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like even in like the world of work, so I was a recruiter for a few years and I remember I cast my mind back to kind of the first week in the job. I'm hunched over with my phone in my hand, so, willing myself to call this guy about, I'm trying to help him get a job or
Mhm.
something like that. And I'm just thinking, oh no, I'm gonna fail here.
I
This is
don't want to
no, I
speak
don't
to
like it.
somebody on the phone. Oh
Yeah.
no. And I know
Oh,
sometimes it is difficult,
yeah.
but I think once you do that first one, as you've said,
Yeah, then it's just comes so much easier every single time to the point
mhm,
where you don't even think about it. You kind of find someone, see a phone number, and bang, like it's just there
yeah.
immediately. Like you're just ready. You know what I mean? It's second nature. So yeah, it's obviously it's a same with guitar. So was there a certain point you got to with the guitar then, and then thought I don't need lessons anymore. I'm kind of done with it.
It was
Or
sort of like when I went off to uni,
hmm
really, because
okay,
I'd still be having lessons. So for like, what, 6 years or something,
mm,
I'd be having lessons every 2 weeks.
mm,
And in the end, it was more of, well, I'm going off to uni,
mm.
so trying to come back and
Just
then
for a
go
lesson or
back
what?
and come
Yeah.
back and forth just for like a half-hour guitar lesson. It
Mm,
was never going to be logistically possible. So it
yeah.
was about the time it went off to uni, and it just naturally became a thing where I just sort of moved on from the lessons
Mm,
and started just playing a lot more casually.
mm,
So the lessons, I'd always go in and be like, right, let's learn this solo, let's do
mm.
this, let's do
Yeah.
that. Where now I'm more than happy to just be like, let's just learn some chords,
Yeah.
let's put them all together and just have a lovely time.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the biggest thing with it, just having a nice time with it.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing because there's still room for improvement with anything like that. If you look at the ultimate guitarists of the world, people like Jimi Hendrix, whatever, there's still you still look at someone like that as inspiration, don't you?
Mhm.
You're kind of playing guitar regularly and going for 6 years, and you've not up until that point you've only ended it because of personal circumstances. You still could have happily gone and knew
Mhm.
you had more to learn, and you're not the finished article, and there's still somewhere to go. So, are there any musical inspirations for yourself in terms of guitarists you look at or bands you really like and think,
Yeah, so for me, it was always like Eddie Van Halen
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
like the peak guitar for me.
yeah,
So when I was younger, it was always like, I want to learn this solo, I want to play really fast, I want to do all this stuff.
yeah,
Granted, when I was like 17, 18, that's probably when I was at my best at
yeah,
playing the guitar. Like I
yeah,
probably could play some of the solos.
yeah,
Now it's like I pick it up and I'm like, right, I've forgotten all of it. Just give me these chords back.
yeah,
Give me the
yeah,
chords back. I know what I'm doing.
yeah,
And it's much more laid back. But definitely when I was younger, it was a lot of like, Eddie Van Halen, things like that. There's a lot of Queen inspired as
yeah,
well. So it would be a lot of different guitarists as well, but obviously one where the guitar would be very prevalent in it.
yeah, That's something that actually like is a big reason I wanted to get much better at the guitar was our mutual friend Jason. He's a
Mhm.
very keen guitar
He's
player as
always
well.
been good at the guitar. He's always been better than me at the guitar.
As a
Definitely
yeah,
has. Yeah,
yeah.
same.
I think he's got to the point now where he's pretty much said to me, he said, I can play anything on the guitar. I just need
Mhm.
to remember it. Like that's what he's
Mhm.
basically said. So like I was like, oh amazing. But yeah, so he came round and he was showing me some stuff when I was like just getting into the guitar and he's given me some good tips and tricks and he's tried to show me a bar chord and I've got in one ear out the other, but I did. Yeah, he just kind of like brings up. He knows a lot of stuff, like, and he'll just like we're like, oh, do you know this one? He'll just do this like solo or whatever, and he'll like this, and then yeah, and
Mhm.
sometimes if he's just playing the chords about it, sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, 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 and then he'll just start like he's not a singer, but he'll be going, come on, look, come on, you know this
Yeah.
one, and like, and then eventually he'll just start singing it or at least saying the lyrics, and I'm like,
Mhm.
ah, Post Malone or whatever like that, and I'm like.
Get there in the end, isn't
Get
it?
there in the end. Get there in the end. So, yeah, I mean, do you think collaboration? Have you had any other musicians around you? You mentioned Jason. So
Mhm.
have you seen him play guitar as well? Have you played with him or anything like that?
Yeah, this would have been again when we were maybe 14 or something.
Yeah,
And it was when we were all sort of playing guitar together and we'd
yeah,
sort of go around and be like, oh, can you play this? Oh, look at what I can play. And it was sort of like it wasn't like a competition in terms of who was the best or anything, but it was more just like, oh, it's pretty neat. How do you play that? How do you play this?
yeah,
How do you transition, like you say, from this chord to that chord the best? It was a lot of learning from each other, which
yeah,
I think at the time you probably don't look at it and think, oh, we need that.
mm,
But, in hindsight, looking back, it was the best way to learn.
Yeah.
because you could just ask you stupid questions. Because obviously we're all good friends there,
Mm.
so you never felt like any question was a stupid question.
No.
So you just always felt confident just asking, saying, "Oh, how'd you play that?" Even though to them it might be the simplest thing
Mm.
in the world.
Yeah.
To me, it's like obviously I don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to ask.
Yeah.
And it was a lot more asking rather than showing off. And recently, it was like sort of pre-COVID. I played with a couple of other friends,
Mm.
to name drop Abel and Callum.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah. They're good
So
guitarists as well, both of them,
they
aren't
are, yeah, they're both really good. And just playing with them casually as well. And it's never like anything major or serious or anything, but
they? Mm.
it's just like a nice little casual, just everyone sit down and just play some music. It's like how people go to the park and kick around a football.
Yeah.
It's the exact same as that, apart from
Yeah.
you just stop sharing your music instead of sharing playing football.
Yeah, yeah. I yeah, thoroughly agree. Sharing and I think people are happy to help as well. Like if someone came to me and asked me for advice, I'd be more than happy to share because it's like
Mhm.
it's nice to feel wanted and useful, isn't it? And then you got something
Yeah.
you can help with. But when I was starting out, so I was a songwriter before I was learning the guitar. I was getting into songwriting about 20, like COVID basically, 2021, that kind of time. And yeah, I was getting, I was connecting with people and writing some stuff, and I'd written this idea, this like lyrics and stuff, and I'd added like a melody in my head for this song, but I couldn't play any instruments, like I couldn't play guitar.
Mhm.
So I thought, right, I'm gonna ask Abel see if he can help. So I went around Abel's house and I
Yeah.
said to him, and I was basically going, right, Abel, this is my melody. It's like I said, can you play this on the guitar? Because this is one thing. It's like dun 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 dun, like sort of
Are
like
you
that, and
sure
it
this
was
is
like.
original song, by the
Well,
way?
this so yeah. If we, before you steal my punchline, was Abel's like going, oh, hang on, yeah, I think I got this, and he's got his guitar and he's going,
Mhm.
and he's playing it. It's like, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly what I had in my head. You've just played it. That's amazing. That's incredible. How have you done that?
Mhm.
And then yeah, and then I kind of thought for a few more days, and I kind of yeah, one of the biggest songs on the chart at the moment was "Break Your Heart" by Dua Lipa, and it's dum 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 do do do, and it's the same thing. And I think it's actually very similarly sampled by like in an XS song or something like that. Someone will
Mhm.
have to let me know if it is. But yeah, there's a few songs that are like because I mean Dua Lipa, I love Dua Lipa. I think she's great, but obviously she can get away with or like use samples well. I think she's done stuff with Elton John, hasn't she? The
Mhm.
stuff like that. So, but that's it. Music. Like, there's only so many chords. There's only so much music, isn't there? So you can, as long as
Mhm.
you put your own twist on it. I remember
Yeah.
seeing Vanilla Ice say that he didn't steal Under Pressure, David Bowie, and you
Yeah.
know, yeah, he claimed that Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby is a fully original hit. But that's yeah, up to him if he wants to.
Yeah, that's
That way.
some people think that. That's fine. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
absolutely fine. I'll
We
let them
can't say
think that.
otherwise. We can't say otherwise, can we? But uh, but yeah, brilliant. So yeah, we've talked a lot about your inspirations, and yeah, sort of music there on. So you've obviously not you've said you never had the dream of being in a band or like
Mhm.
or conquering the world or anything like that. So you've obviously taken a different direction, but you still have it
Mhm.
as a hobby. So is that still even with everything taken on reflection, is it still something you look back at with pride and think I'm really glad
Mhm.
I've done that and I'm glad I've got that in my
I
locker?
think it is because playing music's one of those things where you don't quite get it until you do it.
Mm.
It's like it's just a really nice thing when
Yeah,
you've got
yeah,
stuff in your head and you're just like, I need to just get it out,
yeah,
even if it's not even music related.
yeah,
Like if you're just in like a bit of a like, oh, I'm in a mood or something. It's like, right, I'll get me guitar, I'll throw four chords together. Let's keep on repeating them,
mm.
and you just have a little rant, and then and then you put it
Yeah,
back, and it's like, oh, there we go, that's nice.
yeah,
And it's almost just to like not to be like all like whoa about the whole thing, but it's almost like to just like get your emotions just out, even
yeah,
if it's not like writing or anything, even if it's not recording,
yeah,
just playing it.
yeah,
You can just get those emotions just out, which is something like you say, if you don't play an instrument, you're not probably going to understand it. But if you do play an instrument, you're going to completely listen to it and be like, yeah, that's exactly what happens.
yeah, yeah.
Like if you're in a great mood, you'll just be like, right, let's play the guitar, play some nice happy chords,
Mm.
major chords, brilliant. You're in an angry mood, you're like, right, here we go, let's start diminishing things, and you
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it just does, it really just does go off your emotions, I think.
Yeah, I fully agreed. So, I mean, as you may know, my favorite artist and the inspiration for this podcast is Billie Eilish, and her song "Everything I Wanted" that she wrote with her brother Phineas, that is exactly as you just described. They wrote it whilst they're on tour, I think. So they wrote it when they were in a place of real joy at one point, but then a real place of darkness at the other point. So you hear in the song kind of the two flips. And it's the same with her song Happier Than Ever. Like it flips from being a really happy song to a really sad song.
Hmm.
It's about being in touch with your emotions, isn't it? And like, yeah,
Hmm.
doing that in the right way, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think you could ever force write a song.
Yeah.
Like you could, but it just wouldn't have anything behind it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think when you listen to certain songs and you just know
Yeah.
that it's like there is a lot behind that song.
Yeah.
And I think that's sort of the big thing, which is why I think everyone loves music, really.
Yeah.
Or the people
Yeah.
who love music do love music, and the people who don't, they don't get it. But
Yeah.
it's not for them to get, is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe one day, maybe they'll get it
Oh
one day. It'll
yeah,
all come clear. But yeah, that's us, Adam. That's our time again.
it's been a blast as
It's been a blast.
always.
It's
I've had a
always a
great
blast. It's
time.
always a pleasure. So for one last time, and I keep on asking you, but if people do want to
Mhm.
find you, where can they find you?
People do want to find me, they can find me online, twitch.tv/IdleCrisp. I'll be live Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, 6 p.m. UK time. Best
Amazing,
place to find me.
fantastic. Cheers. Thanks very much, Adam. Take care.
Thank you very much for having me.
Cheers. Bye.